Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the world of microeconomic theory. First of all, let's start with the meaning of the term economy. An economy is a system through which people earn their living. Yes, it covers every aspect of the economy, like production, distribution, and trade. Now, the study of an economy is called economics. You know, this word economics has its origin from two terms, namely oikos and nemin, which are of Greek origin. While oikos means household, nemin means management. अगर हम घर के बारे में भी सोचें तो सबसे पहले हमें इकोनॉमिक्स की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ती है? क्योंकि हम अपने घर का बजट बनाते हैं. We need to manage our household. In the same regard, Robbins, one of the famous professors of economics, has given a beautiful definition of this term called economics. According to him, economics is the study of human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. We all face this problem कि हम बहुत सारी चीज़ें खरीदना चाहते हैं लेकिन उनको बाय करने के लिए हमारे पास जो resources हैं वो limited हैं. So the first assumption is that utility can be measured in cardinal numbers. Cardinal number means 1, 2, 3. So we need to assess that how much utility in numbers we are getting from the consumption of various units of a commodity. Second assumption is that marginal utility of every commodity is independent. That means if we are consuming a basket of goods, the utilities that we get from separate commodities are not dependent upon each other. The third assumption is that marginal utility of money remains constant. The utility that we get from 1 rupee would be similar to the utility that we will get from the next rupee. Why? Because the purchasing power of the money is going to remain constant. The next point is that there should be continuous consumption. आप खुद सोचिए, अगर आज मैं एक आइसक्रीम का कप खाऊं और एक आइसक्रीम का कप 10 दिन बाद खाऊं तो क्या मैं उनकी यूटिलिटीज़ को आपस में कंपेयर कर सकती हूँ? बिकॉज दे आर being consumed in different environments, in different circumstances. Now, the fifth point is size of consumer group. Supposedly, अभी समर सीजन आने पर I plan कि मैं इस बार एक एयर कंडीशनर खरीदना चाहूँगी. I keep aside 6,000 rupees for the air conditioner, but the price which comes out in the market is 8,000. So this means I will not be able to buy it. And all those people who saved 7,000 or 5,000 will also not be able to buy it. So when the price of a thing increases, my dear students, a whole group of consumers is subtracted from demand. And so the demand goes down. On the other hand, if the price of the same air conditioner is, say, around 4,000, it comes out to be 4,000, I will also be afford it, and those who saved 5,000 will also be able to afford it, and those who saved 4,000 will also be able to afford it. So this means a whole group of consumers will be added, and so the demand will obviously go up. So now we are very clear about this thing, that why price and demand have a negative relationship.
We move on to the numerical aspects of macroeconomics. We will be doing on how to calculate the GDPs, how to calculate the national income, all these things. So, in the first numerical illustration, we will calculate GDP on the basis of the information given below. On one hand, we see the items, and on the other hand, we see the rupees in crores. Personal consumption expenditure is 45,000 crore. Government final expenditure is rupees 5,000 crore. Gross domestic investment is rupees 5,000 crores. Increase in inventories is rupees 1,000 crores. Export of goods and services rupees 6,000 crores. Import of goods and services is rupees 7,000 crores. Net direct taxes rupees 3,500 crores. Depreciation is rupees 4,500. So, what will be the solution? How we will calculate the GDP? GDP will be 1, that is personal consumption and expenditure, added by 2, that is government final expenditure, added by 3, that is gross domestic fixed investment, added by 4, that is increase in inventories, added by 5, that is increase in that is export of goods and services. But you know that GDP does not include any foreign exchange, so it will be minused by number 6, and that is import of goods and services. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, but minus 5, and that will be 45,000 plus 5,000 plus 5,000 plus 1,000 plus 6,000 but minus 7,000, and the answer will be rupees 55,000 crores.
Let's start with the chapter balance of payments. Balance of payments basically a systematic record of all economic transactions between the residents of one country and the residents of other during a given period of time. After looking into the definition of the balance of payments, we can look into the components. What are the different components of the balance of payment? There are basically the two main components of the balance of payment, that is the current account and the capital account. Current account is that account which records the transactions which are related to the import and export of goods and services, unilateral transfers and the international incomes. On the other side, the capital account is that record which gives us record about short-term and long-term capital transactions, both private as well as public. Both the things will be recorded in the capital account. Now we can classify the current account transaction into the various categories. First is the export and import of goods or merchandise.
Dear students, now let us understand the concept of money, commercial banking, and the central bank. What is money? Money is a good that acts as a medium of exchange in transactions. Classically, it is said that money acts as a unit of account, a store of value. Now, money is anything which can serve as a medium of exchange. If we peep into the history, we'll find that all sort of things like animals, agricultural produce, metals have been used as a medium of exchange.